Good morning from Wembley in London. I'm with Sergeant Chris Duncombe of the British Transport Police here in the Forces Wembley Police Station. Chris, great to be here. Thank you so much for welcoming Policing TV here. We're going to talk a little about your career to date. We're going to talk about the IPA, your passion and your leadership on the IPA, which explains the wall right behind you, and also about your work with the British Transport Police. Let's start. Just tell us, how did you get into policing and how long have you been in policing?
So I joined the Metropolitan Police as a special back in 2014. I worked in insurance before then. I was looking to do something a little bit more on top. Joined that, spent a year with the specials, absolutely loved it, completely fell in love. 2015 I joined BTP, the Metropolitan Police weren't hiring, BTP were, and I love the railways, and it kind of all came together as a glorious confluence.
I'm just going to pick up, the British Transport Police actually won't be well known to many outside the United Kingdom. The Metropolitan Police will, as policing the capital, London, of the United Kingdom. Just tell us a little bit more about the British Transport Police.
Yeah, so we're a specialised railway police force. We cover nearly all the railway network in England, Scotland and Wales as one unified force.
And okay, so we'll talk more about the BTP in a little bit, but let's now move on to your passion for the International Police Association, the position that the IPA Section UK currently finds itself in, and the opportunities that there are there, and indeed something about the many badges that you have behind you, and take those in the order that you like. I'd love to hear something about the badges behind you in a moment or two, but your work in the IPA, your passion for the IPA, and indeed the badges behind you.
So at the moment I'm the Vice President for Professional Development for the IPA in the Section UK, dealing with all professional development CPD matters for about our 8,000 members. I joined the IPA in 2016 and quite commonly will not members did basically nothing with it. Beginning of 2018 I went for a few drinks with some colleagues from Europe who were out in London. They convinced me go to Gimborn, which is our specialist training facility in Germany. Went there, and first night I'm sharing drinks with a South African Army sniper, a former North Wales police officer, and I understood it. It made me fall in love. I've met some of my most amazing friends and basically progressed from there.
Just on Gimborn, actually, it's the most fantastic location. I'd absolutely, with a passion, would encourage anybody that's interested in the IPA to get a chance to visit Gimborn at some stage. Say a little bit more about what there is at Gimborn.
So Gimborn itself is quite literally a baronial castle. So the Baron lives in one wing, we've got the rest of the facility. It's about 40 minutes outside of Cologne in just a beautiful surroundings. It is wonderful. They offer various different courses in English, German, other languages.
We just have somebody coming in behind you. We'll keep going and let them. Oh no, they're staying there. So we'll carry on.
So, for instance, coming over the next year, we've got courses on everything from human trafficking to officer safety to counter-terrorism, a whole range of literally world-beating instructors from across policing coming in.
It is, the bar that there is at Gimborn, I can absolutely 11 out of 10 recommend. It is an environment that absolutely encourages, almost demands social interaction.
Yep.
It's fantastic. Okay, so you lead for the IPA here, Section UK, on the professional development opportunities. Now, the IPA was set up actually by a Brit back in 1950, I think, and yet the Section UK is not, by some significant margin, the most active section worldwide. Something about the opportunities for Section UK to grow.
Yeah, so you're exactly right. We've lost a lot of membership over the years. It's now starting to grow again. For me, in my portfolio, I want people to be able to experience courses learning other places. So, for instance, we sent 2 IPA members from Section UK over to Germany last week to learn about what the German policing is, everything they learn, they do differently, what the similarities are. And in return, we had some German officers over here to visit some of our specialist capabilities at BTP. We have opportunities for formal attachments with other police forces. We sent someone over to Dallas PD for a week. I remember police staff actually from the Met to really learn about what they do in more detail. But also the things for your specialism. So drones are becoming very big in policing at the moment. Gimborne's running a course. I've got a few officers who are looking to go on formal attachments with other drone units in other police forces to really pick up that best practice so we can build into your career. And also what interests you, because not all people are working in the job they want to do. Sometimes it is just going to see other countries. There's a fantastic opportunity in Iceland next year. We're sending 2 members. They've got a very small police force, but it's a very unique policing environment in ways very similar to the UK. Don't carry firearms, they've got large patches, a mix between rural and city locations. And understanding how other people do things and learning that police officers are all more or less the same, you can pick up so much and bring it back to UK policing to make us better.
Just the same, but then different in small but often important ways. And it's the different in those important ways that often provides that key learning. Now I believe you won an Arthur Troop scholarship at some point.
Yeah.
So a relatively small amount of funding that allows, in this instance, you to travel, but also is available to others for future such activity. Tell us about that.
So the Arthur Troop Scholarship, it's an international scholarship across the whole of the IPA globally. The aim of it is to provide funding for members to learn and experience professional development opportunities in places they wouldn't have had to do because of the funding. So for me, I had the opportunity to go to North Carolina in America on an Axon Master Instructor course. I teach Taser as one of my ancillary duties here at Wembley. That course, it costs a lot of money, it's in America. I wouldn't have had the opportunity at all to go without the IPA. I made some amazing friends, but the kind of learning I've picked up direct from source, and also understanding what other police forces do, because they've got a very different level of skill sets, abilities, policies in America, and really opened my eyes. And I can feed that directly back into the students I teach, the work I do in my day job, and also it's a great opportunity to experience the new.
We'll come on in a moment to your work here at the British Transport Police. Yep. And how that your membership of the IPA has led you to be able further to develop your work here with BTP. It would be a missed opportunity not to talk something about these many badges that are behind us. We can't talk about all of them, but just pick out one or two for us.
So from the Sri Lanka Police Force up here, I went over to Sri Lanka the end of last year on the Young Police Officer Seminar. It was me and about 15 other police officers from around the world. We spent a week with the Sri Lankan police, with their special task force. We learned about the really unique challenges they've had with the civil war over the past decades, and got to meet people who've done so much different from the UK, but they're now transitioning to peace, and they're so keen to learn from us about how do they police in a peaceful economy where there isn't that much war anymore.
So that's one example. There's so many on here, you know.
This one here from St. Charles Parish in Louisiana. So they're literally the next county over from New Orleans. They'll tell me off for saying that. They are 3 police officers from that. They adopted me when I was over in America earlier in the year, and because I think they found my accent funny, and I'd say they like me as well, but the friendship they showed me, I can't repay them enough for it. And lastly, this Thin Blue Line one from Kenya. So we had some Kenyans come out to an IPA course I taught a couple of years ago, and they were such an amazing bunch. Kenya's always a lovely country to do. They were so keen and so enthusiastic, and they work in such an austere environment and do so much with it. So I was really happy to get that patch off them.
Let's just move elsewhere. I'd love to visit so many more of these badges and the stories behind them. But let's just move elsewhere in this British Transport Police station here in Wembley, and we'll pick up with a little bit more about your story on your career here with the BTP.
So, as I mentioned, in 2018 I completely fell in love with the IPA, and I've been back to Gimborne several times after that. I picked up the secretary role for the BTP branch not long after going on there, and my career with the IPA has developed about the same time as my career with the BTP. I was fortunate to get promoted quite early. I came up here to Wembley on 2018 on promotion. Over the past few years, we've worked very hard setting up a neighbourhood policing team to really help our local communities. Within policing, one of my loves is personal safety training and taser. Back at the beginning of 2020, I had the opportunity to go to Belgium to do my IPA defensive tactics instructor course, which every day started as a joke of an Englishman, an Austrian, and an American are driving a car in Belgium. Within BTP then, I undertook my instructor's qualification not too long after that, and it's basically a direct consequence of my activities in the IPA that's benefited my job role. And the same with, as mentioned, I went to America on a taser course earlier in the year. That's all that feeds back into my work with BTP. I love being a skipper. For me, it's one of the best things I've ever done in policing, and the opportunities the IPA provides me, especially with the vice president work, I get involved in a lot more strategic and operational activities regarding budgets, management, all that type of things that I wouldn't normally get exposed to at my rank, which is then experience skills I can bring back into my day job and help scratch an itch, as it were, on a professional level, but at the same time I'm still involved with two things I absolutely love to bits.
Sergeant Chris Duncombe of the British Transport Police, thank you so much for your insight as to your career to date, your work with the IPA, and indeed your work here at the British Transport Police Wembley Police Station.
Thank you.